Well, here we are, everybody, returning to Red Velvet. We're doing Feel My Rhythm. Then the next time when we do revisit him will probably be Chill Kill, and then probably start getting down and deep in digging into the B-sides. So let's see what they got post Red Velvet 1 Week Club. Hiya. Didn't want to go. Oh, that's cool. Whoa. That's familiar.
Red Velvet. 무도회를 뒤집어 작은 소란을 또 일으켜. This is gonna be a crazy night.
Wow, visually speaking, that's crazy.
우리 살짝 놀아볼까 솔직하게 baby. 지금부터 시작해볼게. Feel my vibes. 꽃가루를 날려 폭죽을 더 크게 터뜨려. 우리로만 다 편견을 가두지 마. 자유로워 지금. 이제 조금 낯선 다른 차원 같아.
How interesting.
예고 없이 등장해. 이 밤은 멋지고 우리 falling white and brave. 시선을 끄는 emotion Taking me on a direction 끝없는 발걸처럼 빠져드는 sweet emotion 너를 펴는 채 어디로든 떠날래 세상 모든 경계를 다 휘저을래 꽃가루를 날려 샴페인을 더 크게 터뜨려 더는 어제와 내일을 가두지 마 자유로워 지금 온 세상이 멈추는 순간 What I feeling 어서 내 손을 잡아 혼자 어떤 feeling 맞추는 you and I Next time 시계를 돌려 어디로 가볼까 Come on 또 다시 시작해 you and I
Very interesting. Wow. Now that's very interesting to me. First and foremost, it sounds like my neighbors are out doing yard work in the middle of December. Okay, I think they're far away enough now. Okay, let's get the obvious thing out of the way. That is we're getting some more classical music crossover here. Air on the G String by Bach. That's a really cool feature. And the thing that's cool is that it's actually pretty prominent throughout. So we kind of get the, I would say, not that it's typical, but it's a typical Red Velvet sound, kind of coming in and weaving right here. And I love that transition right there, because going into this, you just got that, like I said, that kind of classic sound from them, Red Velvet. Then right here, you hear it slowly breathe back into the mix. And you know, the thing that's interesting is we have had some music on here where we talked about like using classical music. And I believe it was Blackpink that had La Campanella. And the thing that I find interesting is that the difference between a Red Velvet use of classical music versus, say, most people's use of classical music in modern music is that they will take the recognizable part and play that in the song, whereas they are using a lot of the song throughout their song. So it's not just what's recognizable. Then combining the two songs like that is actually really well done. You know, personally, I know this sounds silly. I know that a lot of people don't quite take this as seriously maybe as I do in some senses, but I feel like sometimes people are a lot less respectful in using classical music than I think it should be. I know I am somebody who is a pretty big fan of classical music. I listen to it. I used it a lot when I was doing vocals. I used it a lot when I practiced piano. And to me, it's one of those things. It's almost like you just have to go through it when you're taking lessons. And so for me, I feel like that using it in a correct fashion is actually pretty nice. I feel like sometimes there's, like I said, times where I feel like that it's being used not in its best light, and there's, it just ends up getting used for what's popular. And I think the other thing that I think is too is I am willing to admit that my relationship with Red Velvet is a little more complicated than it is with some other girl groups. I understand that. And yet the thing that I have to say personally, I don't know if there's a group that I would trust more with a classical song than Red Velvet. Because I feel like whoever their writer is, whether it's them or someone at SM, there's an innate, I don't know, musical IQ that's behind this, regardless of how I feel about some of the weird music or about the R&B, whatever it is. But the truth is that it's got that intelligence and that understanding of placement and where things need to be. And the funny thing is too is that this is kind of like a prettier song for Red Velvet in a lot of senses. But that's one of the things that I find so interesting about this. I feel like that also too, it's an interesting choice because Air on the G String is a very popular piece. But, I think the interesting thing is that if you talk to most people about classical music. I feel like, especially if people that use it in today's music, a lot of people go to more popular pieces, a Vivaldi, a Mozart, a Beethoven, some Bach stuff, like obviously Fugue Toccata in D minor is probably the biggest example, along with a few others. But I think that this song is kind of a good choice. I think also too, though, like coming back to the musical IQ part of things, I really appreciate this song because not only do they apply classical music in an appropriate way, at least in my opinion, but they also just are still able to keep what you can identify with them. And so it's like, it sounds like Red Velvet, but at the same time, it's not like so far off the beaten path either way that it's, to the extreme. And I like that. This song is actually really cool. I kind of wish that I could have gotten to this in 1 week club, but that was a crazy week. Anyway, let me know what y'all think about this, and we'll discuss this down in the comments below. Also, the visuals on this are insane. Anyway, have a good one, and goodbye.